If I told you to start a conversation with everyone you met for the next 24 hours, how would you feel? Nervous? Intimidated? Well, you're not alone, because 1 in 5 people now suffer from anxiety and are struggling with these feelings every single day. You see, in this modern age of technology, social media, and dating apps, actually starting conversations with strangers is a lost skill. That's long gone. So just like most people, you're most likely just making these big 5 mistakes that are ruining your interactions. And if you ignore them, these could actually cost you potential friendships, your dream job opportunities, dates, and so much more. So in this video, I'm gonna break down a simple 5-step framework that you can use to avoid each mistake and to have amazing talks with anyone. And I'm gonna keep it simple. I want you to think differently about conversations. Instead of a regular chat, all right, think of every interaction as a chance to build an authentic connection between you and the other person. Think of it like building a bridge that connects you to the other side, right? And that's why step 1 of the 5-step framework is to check out the landscape. Just like you wouldn't start building a bridge without first checking out the landscape, you shouldn't just jump into a conversation without some mental prep or at least situational awareness. So here's what you're gonna do. First, just for a second, visualize a successful conversation, having a good time, right? Take a second to be like, okay, this is gonna go well. I'm gonna make this person laugh. We're gonna have a good time. Because when you hold that positive mental image, it's gonna calm your nerves a little bit. And look, everyone gets nervous talking to new people, especially if you're not used to it. That's normal. So don't think that you're a loser. Don't think that you're stupid. That's just how today's society is acting, because it's not normal to talk to people in person anymore. And everyone you meet is a potential great connection. You guys might be strangers now, but this person could literally become a potential best friend, a business partner, or even, of course, a romantic connection. Right? So when you see them, act like you're gonna become good friends. Don't go overboard and pretend like you already know them, you know everything about them. That's a little creepy. But remind yourself that nothing bad is gonna happen. You're just having a conversation. You're just exchanging ideas. A technique that's known to work is using great posture to your advantage. It's proven that standing or sitting up straight gives you confidence. So when you're talking to someone, remember not to slouch. Keep your shoulders back. Keep your chest out. There's no need to be unnatural and robotic, right? It's more of a subtle reminder that you're a strong person and that you're confident. But remember that confidence isn't about feeling 100% ready, because at the end of the day, no one is ever 100% ready. You don't know what you're getting yourself into when you're talking to a new person. It's about taking that first step, even when you're nervous. Okay, now that you're mentally prepped, let's move on to actually starting the conversation. Step 2 is where you start laying the foundation of your conversation bridge. And it's actually where most people mess up big time. You know, they use generic, boring openers, and it kills the vibe from the start. I mean, how many times have you heard someone come up to you, oh, nice weather, right? It's boring, man. No one cares. Everyone has looked outside. Everyone knows what the weather is like. Instead, here's what you should do. Open with an observation that's relevant to the situation. Okay? Let's say you're at a coffee shop and the barista is making a really crazy, fancy drink. Make a comment about the drink. Make a comment about the barista. Or make a comment about the music that's playing in the background. And the reason why is that it shows that you're present. It shows that you're observant. And it instantly makes the conversation more interesting. Also, you're both looking at the barista. You're both listening to the same music. So that is something that you have in common, even though you just met this person and you have no idea what they're all about or what their values are. And if the music comment, for example, starts that conversation, it's perfect, right? Because then you can pivot into asking them what kind of music they like. And by the way, there's an easy way of saying that without being so generic. Like, for example, what kind of genre is your favorite? That's kind of corny. But if you say, you look like you'd be into Morgan Wallen. Did I get that right? It doesn't matter if you got it right or wrong. You immediately start building a deeper connection with that person. Even if they say, no, I don't even know who Morgan Wallen is, then you can just ask, all right, well, who's your go-to then? And that's a much better transition into that topic. Remember, the key is to keep it natural, keep it casual. You're not interrogating them, right? You're just starting a friendly chat, just like laying down a smooth, solid foundation for that conversation bridge. Also, if you're transitioning from online to in-person interactions, this is very relevant nowadays, right? Maybe you met someone on Instagram or a dating app, right? Try referencing something from their social media account that you've seen or from their dating profile, because it shows interest. It gives you an instant connection point. Just don't go overboard. You want to make sure that you look thoughtful, not like a stalker. So a couple of things that will absolutely help you talk to strangers is 1, building confidence in your communication skills, and 2, knowing your core values and sticking to them. And the best way to do that, best way to work on those things together at the same time is by talking to a professional, a therapist, sharing your thoughts, getting in the habit of having open and honest conversations. And our sponsor, BetterHelp, is the easiest way to get connected to a therapist who can help you achieve those two things simultaneously. You sign up online, you get connected to a therapist specialized in the area that you want to improve on, whether it's social anxiety, relationship issues, past traumas, or maybe you just want to open up and talk to someone. Men don't typically do that, and it's really, really important that you do. Your therapist will guide you through your emotions, through your feelings. But honestly, and most importantly, this is something that most men don't even think about. But your therapist will guide you to find and to build your core values. Who are you as a human being? What do you stand for? What are you all about? You're gonna find out if you're a family guy, if you're an emotional person, if you have a growth or a fixed mindset. These are all incredibly important for you to figure out as early and as soon as possible. So you sign up online, they match you with a therapist according to your needs, and then you can schedule sessions as a phone call, video chat, or even messaging if you prefer that, so you don't have to go in person. It's on your schedule. It's the most practical way of talking to a professional and getting real advice about what's going on in your life. And you can always stop it if you don't like it, or you can swap to a different therapist if you don't like your first one, which BetterHelp offers free of charge if you're not happy with yours for whatever reason. So click that first link in my description. It's betterhelp.com/AlexCosta, and you even get a discount on your first month. But now that you've started this conversation, most people struggle to keep it going enough to make a real connection. Right? How do you get deeper? How do you make a real connection out of small talk and this opener? And this is where things get really interesting, because step 3 is all about building the support beams of your conversation bridge. Like, before I dive into that, by the way, let's first talk about the biggest mistake that people make at this stage. And that is turning this interaction into a self-centered monologue. It's like when you turn the conversation into everything about me. So instead, it's actually important that you keep the real technique in mind during your interactions. And here's how it works. First, R stands for relate. So as you chat, find common ground. It's the same as connecting the beams on both sides of your conversation bridge. For example, if they mention that they're into fitness, they really like being healthy and fit, and you just started a new workout routine or a new workout class, share your experience, right? You can say something like, oh, I just started that HIIT class that everyone's been talking about here in New York City. It's kicking my ass, but in a good way. Have you tried it? It's an easy way to relate to that person and their values. Next, E is for engage. So as you should already know, but you need to show genuine interest during the chat. Unless you don't have interest, and at that point, E is for exit. So make sure that you ask follow-up questions to strengthen the connection that you guys have. A is for active listening. Pay attention to details. Don't just ask a question and then kind of zone out while the person's talking to you and you're just looking at the ceiling, looking around, looking at people going by, right? Try to remember the key points that they mentioned, because you might want to circle back to that later, and that's what creates that true bond, that true connection. It shows them that you care, shows them that you're listening, and shows them that you understand what they're talking about. L is for let them shine. Give them space to express their feelings, their passions. If they light up talking about something, encourage them to share more. This rise in energy level, it shows that this is something that this person really cares about. And it sets the stage for something really important that happens at the end of every interaction, which I'm going to explain at the end of this video because it's a really, really interesting technique. But here's the thing, even if you've mastered the real technique, REAL, there are still 2 more critical steps that can make or break your entire conversation. In fact, most people completely overlook these, and it actually costs them potential relationships, life opportunities, because communication is everything. So if you want to know the secret to leaving a lasting impression and making sure that your conversation isn't forgotten as soon as it's over, that they forget about you, you're going to want to pay close attention to the next 2 steps. So now that we've approached and we built a strong foundation between us, right? There's the support beams, we're building this bridge. This analogy is getting old. Look, it's time to get things to the next level. In fact, step 4 is where many people slip up and they cause the conversation to kind of fizzle out. Have you ever had that? You're talking, it's going well, and then it kind of just like starts to die out and you're like, should I leave now? What's going on? We started off well, but I don't know how it's going now. It's like the crucial phase where you either expand a deeper connection or you get stuck in this small talk loop and it's not exciting at all. It's the same conversation that we've had 100 times about the weather, about some sports game or whatever. It's just so boring. It's interesting. So a psychologist named Nicholas Epley actually found that people enjoy deeper conversations way more than small talk. But most of us don't get there. We don't realize this. So we stick to shallow topics thinking, yeah, you know, this is my safe area. I'm gonna stick to my safe area. It's like ordering a plain vanilla ice cream or a vanilla latte when there's so much more out there. Right? Try something new, a new flavor to get excited by. So to avoid this mistake and to keep things flowing, here are some deeper topics to have in mind just to get things going. Obviously, you can talk about travel experiences if you've been somewhere or if you're going somewhere in the future. That usually gets you to connect and you can get to understand a little bit more about that person. You can talk about your unique hobbies or unique skills, or of course, that person's hobbies or skills, your recent books, movies, or shows that you've liked that just came out in the movie theater, personal goals or any recent, achievements without being braggy, without acting like a dick. Interesting facts about your city or your job, anything that's recent that's going on in your life. But look, the key thing is you're not interviewing them for a podcast or for a job. So show genuine curiosity about their experiences and what they're saying. Ask for their opinions. Seek their advice. You're trying to connect with this person on a deeper level. You're not just vomiting a bunch of things that you heard on YouTube from this random guy on Alex Costa channel. Also, make sure that the topics that you discuss, that they're positive, that they're fun. If you feel like the conversation is starting to drag, first, don't panic. Just change the topic to something more fun, something more lighthearted. Now, here's where things get really interesting. You might think that by just having a great conversation, that's enough. But there's actually a psychological trick that can make or break how someone remembers your entire interaction. And it all comes down to how you end things. So that's where step 5 comes in. This final step is about leaving on a high note and making sure that your conversation bridge is strong enough to make sure that this interaction is not forgettable, right? It's not like, oh, we just talked about small talk for 20 minutes and then they left. I don't even remember this person's name. I just know the weather. And to understand how important this step is, let me tell you something. Scientists actually found this pretty fascinating thing called the peak end rule. Basically, people remember experiences based on 2 key moments: the most intense point, which is the peak, and how it ends, how it wraps up. This means that the way that you conclude a conversation can make or break how someone remembers your entire interaction. So if it started off really well and then it just died off, they're gonna remember that it just wasn't that great. But if it started off really well and it started to die off and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna make it more lighthearted and then I'm gonna leave, that's the way to do it. So to make this better, to make this easier, I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that masters this rule. And by the way, I'm giving you these rules as a beginner guide, right? I don't want you to sit there and look at your notes when you're having a conversation. 3-step rule, okay, cool, let me look at real. It's not about that. It's just about getting it started for your first conversations over the next few weeks, and then you can let that go and it's just gonna be ingrained into your mind. First, when you're wrapping up the conversation, start by giving a specific, unique compliment based on what you've discussed. So it could be, say, hey, I gotta say, like, I really like the passion that you have for photography. Like, you have great energy, I can really feel it. Really nice to meet you, and leave. This creates that positive emotional peak, right? And the person's gonna remember that. And if you wanna see this person again, you can just plant the seed for a future interaction, for a future meeting, if it's something that you wanna pursue, right? So here's the key, make sure that it's relevant to what you've talked about. So you don't wanna come off as random or pushy. For example, if you've been chatting about coffee, you might say, I'm definitely checking out this new coffee shop that you mentioned next week. If you wanna come, let me know your Instagram, I'll hit you up. I'll send you a message, right? Maybe we can meet there. This leaves them with this sense of excitement for what's to come. And it's something that you already talked about. You talked about coffee. So it keeps things relaxed. It was related to what you were talking about, and it's so low effort. You don't even really have to think about it. And to end it, honestly, just express how much you've enjoyed the conversation. Be honest. Let them know that you need to head out. Hey, I gotta go. I can't emphasize this enough. Do not overstay your welcome. Don't start the conversation off strong. Talk, connect, and then let the conversation die down until it becomes boring. Make sure to leave on a high note. And it can be so simple. Just say, hey, great chat. I gotta run now, but let's definitely continue this another time. And that's it. It ends the interaction on a high note. It makes you look like you got a place to be, you're busy, you're not just lingering, right? It allows you to leave while the energy is still up, still high, as opposed to letting it drag for too long and then you just kind of okay, this isn't working, I'm gonna leave. That makes it weird, makes it cringy. By the way, if it went really well and you wanna meet up again, I highly recommend, and this is for romantic situations or going on a date or whatever, or business relationships, send them a follow-up message within 24 hours. And in the message, mention something specific that you guys talked about. It shows that you were really listening listening, and it reinforces that positive interaction that you've had. And guess what? Now you built a fully functional conversation bridge to interact with anyone, anywhere, anytime. But what if while you're having this conversation, a girl in the room keeps looking at you? Check out this video and I'll show you exactly what to do.